Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You're never going to believe this, but you know what? I thought about what fireman said about this hammered look. I mean, look how sexy that looks. It's good, right? So I decided to strip all this black back off. I'm just going to keep it this silver, right? It's not really how it went down. So, the black flaked right the F off. So I'm thinking maybe partially because this silver stuff was already pretty much expired or borderline starting to cure up in the can. And a mix between that and also with the fact that the humidity here in South Mississippi is about 1,000,000. So on the can they say that it cures with moisture, kind of like how Pour 15 does. But it also says that you have 48 hours to coat over this primer without having to scuff, similar to epoxy. Well, this shit was cured up because I hit it with an air gun and all this shit went flying off. So it's staying silver because I don't feel like sanding it and scuffing it and repainting it. It's just gonna stay this. I don't mind it being silver anyways, whatever. I think it actually looks pretty good. I just wanted the extra stage on there, but I'm not spending the time and effort sanding all this and scuffing it. So this stuff seems pretty damn durable anyways. But on to what pisses me off and why this is not in the car. My axles here. Well, they got cut today. So I planned on getting this thing bolted up and in place. Went ahead and cut my trailing arms, dropped them down, bolted it up. Thought I was good. So the problem lies here. TCI is not on my happy list. There's my Willwood brake shoes for the parking brake. And these are my ends. Oh, another thing that didn't, I should have stopped right when the day went to shit. So I put new studs in. This one, I think it's this one. Actually, it might be this one right here. Yeah, it's this one. So this stud, which you can probably see, which I haven't driven them all the way in, but I'm gonna have to torque them down by hand. Got a little gun shy after this one. So this one that's longer. It's one of the original studs from the housing. I had to reuse because one of these decided to strip out. I did the washer method to seat these. Put them in, put a stack of washers, put a nut on, torqued it down with the impact gun with my little battery power impact. It torqued in fine. It was the stud pulled in, went to back the nut off, and the nut just like stripped out while backing off. I don't know what happened. I guess it got a piece of metal shaving on it, whatever. Stripped the back of the threads off. So I had to use one of the old studs. So that was the beginning of my shit day. I still have to drill. The way I decided to do this for my brakes, I'm gonna drill through this plate here, like back in the back. And I've got some AN fittings. I've got a T, and I'm gonna tee it through, or I'll tee it through this way, to where it'll, actually I don't know which way I'll tee it, but anyways, I'll tee it through, put a nut on it, and it's gonna have one going out to this brake, one going out this way to the other brake caliper, and then the T that goes up will be to the hose that goes to the body of the car. So, anyways, I got my little vent in here. But on to what pisses me off is, so this instruction that I got from TCI, they got this nice little picture. Well, let's see, it overlaps like that. They got a little note that says need a new pick. But the description in here, from what I read, didn't notice anything that stood out as to how you should edit this. Anything other than it laying in there, because it has the cutout to sit over the flange. And that's how you align it. You just get the angle right. But anyways, none of the other pictures ever show anything different than that. You don't ever, it never goes back to it. And this is the new instruction with the for the mini tub kit. And so they show all these, and they show that side, but they don't show the other side. They just show the passenger side. So there you see it. But the shock's in the way, you can't really see how it is. Same thing here. Can't really tell in the picture how it is. And the back picture doesn't have shit. So anyways, that's how I mounted it. It's like that. Overlapping the little groove, put it on. Well then, I go to put the shock in, or the coilover. Well, the coilovers before were like kind of angled this way, inward at it, towards these mounting holes. Well now, they're almost vertical. And they hit on this. They hit on this flange. So, sorry for the camera movement. I'm trying to hold this housing with my legs so it doesn't spin, but they hit on this thing. The coilover sits and it just butts up against. So now, I have to figure out, well, what the F? Why? So I go back to this drawing here, and I notice this little bit right there. 0.5 inch, ½ inch of the center hole to center hole in that flange needs to be towards the outer housing. Well, you can tell by that picture that ain't happening the way it is. It's probably a ½ inch this way. There you go. So now, I have to cut all of this shit off, which I have no clue how the F I'm gonna do without jacking this thing up. I'll have to strip this paint away so I can recoat it and weld it. But I've got to take all this off, remove this. I'm gonna have to call TCI and get another one of these, because there's probably no way in hell I'm cutting all this weld off and salvaging this piece. I don't know any way I can. Because it's welded on this side, it's welded here. I made sure this bitch wasn't coming off. I welded all the inside flange. All of that. Welded solid as shit. Right there, all of it. It's welded up, not coming off. So I've got a shit ton of grinding to do. I'm halfway tempted to cut off the fucking tube and just weld a whole new tube on. Like, words can't express how pissed I was earlier when I tried to bolt this thing off, thinking I was gonna get this car on wheels today. So, I'm frustrated, I'm pissed off, I don't even wanna look at this car right now. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to cut this off without jacking this tube up or this bracket up. I'm sure I'm gonna have to go back and weld around the back side of where, once this comes off, I'll have to re-weld this area. Because this weld right here, that's the flange. I've got to cut away this section. I don't even know how I'm going to cut it away without jacking up the shock mount section. I really don't. I have no clue. I thought about ways of trying to modify this one to make it work. It's getting really annoying having to rotate this every time because it won't stay, but trying to keep from knocking it off these damn jack stands too. So I thought about maybe making relief cuts. Thinking maybe if I cut the backs here, you know, back here, I could hammer it this way. Well, that'll space it over, but when I do, I'm gonna lose distance. And my distance I'm gonna lose is gonna be the height of this. It's gonna drop down. And when it does, it gets the bar that goes across from this link right here to the other side that's actually on the frame rail that sits over here. Puts that bar closer to this housing. Don't know if that'll be an issue. So, don't know if I want to take that route. I mean, it's already going to be fairly close. The bars, that black bar next to that housing there, I could try to mount it up without the shock mount maybe and see how it does. If I could maybe hammer it over and make do with it like that, don't know. But honestly, I don't know what to do with it, other than calling TCI, getting another bracket sent to me, and then just grinding away this until it's enough gone that I can salvage what I have, and then weld the other one on about, you know, an inch over. That's essentially what I'm gonna have to do. So what I don't get is if they change the fucking design excuse my language, because I'm trying to filter, I'm trying to control it, but I'm not remaking this video every time I slip one. But if they changed it to where it doesn't slip over this flange like it does in this picture, why make that relief cut? Which maybe, actually I had this one already, so they didn't send me a new one. So maybe the new ones don't have this relief cut, but I called them and told them that I needed the pieces to retrofit to this mini tub. And they sent me the tabs that allowed this to bolt on to move this inward. They sent me the new braces, these. They sent me these tabs. They sent me the drop down over there this bar here is hooked to. Yeah, the pieces at the end of this. He sent me all that. Not once did he say shit about this. About this needing to move. Giving me a heads up. Now the instructions clearly say to move these inward. And that makes sense. Because I have a new crossbar. They sent me a new crossbar too. But why in the world is this little bitty picture that has that measurement there, which, I mean, it's my fault I didn't see this, and I should have fitted it after tacking it, and I didn't. I did fit it with these. I didn't tack this in place and then fit it. I went ahead and welded that up. So it's my screw up again, so I can only be mad at myself here, I guess. But why in the world would he not at least mention this on the phone when I'm telling him what I have to do? And say, hey, by the way, our instructions are shit, and we don't have an updated picture to show this. So make sure you don't put it overlapping the flange and move it over an inch, like it is in this little bitty ass picture here. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll be spending tomorrow trying to remove that thing now. And then Monday I'll call them. Maybe I'll be cooled off by then so I don't piss them off to where they won't send me the damn flange. And then get them to mail me another one of these. So I don't have to fab this piece up. Or retro some kind of mod to make this thing work. The other thing with hammering this thing over is it's gonna throw this angle off. Because these, if I hammer it over, it's gonna keep doing this. So it's gonna be pointed that way. So I'll have to bend these as well. Can't really bend this because it's welded on flat. I'd have to cut that and re-weld it on. I'd probably end up having to cut this tab off and re-weld it. I mean, shy of welding on an extension to this, I don't know how I'd do anything else. I mean, there's adjustment in that rod, but like I said, the main concern is that that rod gets closer to this, that back housing. I also plan on getting the gas tank put in. Brought my my sending unit out. These are AN fitted feed and return line with a 1/2-inch tube, I believe, for a feed with a new sender. So plan on getting that put in the car as well, but I don't know, I'm not doing shit with it now. Go ahead and bring these brake drum pieces back in, so I won't be doing shit with them. Bag these nuts up, bring those in. Put the lid on that. Don't use these because the Willwood ones come with some. But that's it. That's all I've done. Today all I managed to get done, I really truly accomplished, was strip all the black shit, all the paint stuff that didn't stick to that off, so I could go back to the normal finish. And cut those axles, and then find out that this shit's jacked up. So probably won't get an update from me in a while because it's going to take me a while to get that done. So the next update will probably be once that's fixed. All right, guys. Sorry I couldn't have more for you.